Of the Out of Bounds Show, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. We welcome in Steve Palazzolo, his show Check the Mic, NFL insider, and college football draft. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Is Cincinnati getting ready for Reds baseball, Steve P?
Oh, yeah. They love it up here. I mean, it's opening day is like a massive holiday here. Remember, the Reds used to be the first show in town historically. The first pitch would always be in Cincinnati. So they have like a 3-hour parade on opening day over here. So, yeah, it's a big deal. Looking forward to it.
Okay. All right. And I've told you this. Jeff Brantley played baseball at Mississippi State, Reds Cowboy.
Yeah.
And he's your color analyst. So you know who that is, right?
Oh, yeah. He's big time up here.
Okay.
Great pitcher, nasty splitter, right?
Yeah.
Closer.
He was on the 85 College World Series team with Rafael Palmeiro and Will Clark. Then he goes to the Giants, which you were affiliated with. And Will Clark ended up with the Giants. They were on the Earthquake team that lost to the A's. I think that was the 89 World Series. And where the earthquake hit during the game. And then he ends up with Cincinnati. That's a good gig. You know what's funny is y'all do your spring training out in Arizona instead of South Florida. I've always thought that was interesting. I'm not sure what
they used to be in Sarasota, and then I think Arizona just got so good because when I was there, they were building Sunrise and Goodyear and all these cities that like didn't have anything, and then they just became, just like your typical Arizona city, and they attracted a whole bunch of teams. I thought Arizona spring training was great. It was easier getting around. Everything is a lot closer. So I think a lot of teams wanted to go out to Arizona instead of Florida.
Okay, that makes sense. I was just out there for the Waste Management Open, and I saw the Diamondbacks and Giants stuff. And, of course, I know the Reds are out there. I guess I assume the Dodgers go out there and some other Rockies maybe, Mariners, some other teams like that.
The Dodgers might actually still be in Florida.
Really?
It was crazy. Yeah. They were always in Vero Beach.
Okay. That's right. That's right. Okay.
It was weird because, some West Coast teams end up there. It's, let's see. No, they're in Arizona now.
They're in Arizona now. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good deal.
They were forever, though, in Vero Beach.
Yeah, that makes sense. Steve Palazzolo on the Out of Bounds Show. We had to do our Major League Baseball hit. Jackson, are you playing fantasy baseball? Okay, so Steve P., I know you hung up fantasy baseball football-wise a few years. I mean, you've been with Pro Football Focus. You're all NFL. You're all into this portal stuff, GM. So I know you hung up the fantasy football. Do you play fantasy baseball?
I haven't. I had a home league that is no longer around. All my kids want to play though. Okay. So I might have Jackson. If you want, you could get in a league with my 4 kids. Maybe they all want to play this year.
You get all right. So Jackson, you're all into MLB fantasy baseball.
Oh yeah, love baseball. Yeah.
Because Go ahead, Steve P.
My first fantasy baseball league was 1994.
Wow.
What?
So I was doing that. Yeah, I was in 7th grade. We were doing like auction style fantasy baseball way back then. We would be in class trying to like work trades and everything, getting in trouble. Like we were doing fantasy baseball back in the day. And then you'd have to go get the USA Today on a Tuesday or a Wednesday to get your stats and then write them down and present them to the commissioner.
Yeah.
Just, I'm not that old, but that's what we had to do back then. Nothing was automated. You had to go get your stats from the newspaper.
That's what we did in fantasy football in the 90s. I mean, you had to go by the USA Today newspaper.
Got to work for it.
You had to. I can't imagine being. I never thought about it. I can't imagine being the commissioner back then. I was never the commissioner. I didn't want to do that. But man, I don't know how you do it, Jackson. 162 games.
It's the best grind in fantasy sports.
You love it, don't you?
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Okay.
It's the best.
Do you play in a league with friends, or you just play on a national platform like ESPN or Yahoo?
Year 13 of a dynasty league.
Okay.
With some buddies.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, we've logged some years. We're happy about it.
Okay.
It's the best league in the world.
All right. Let's talk football. I enjoyed the baseball, but let's talk football do you have real quick, Jackson, do you have who's going to win the World Series? Like who's going? Who knows?
We're not betting against the Dodgers ever.
Oh, okay.
Not right now.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Steve P, let's go NFL. Is the biggest story of the offseason whether or not the Chiefs will bounce back and get back into gear and be one of either the best team in the AFC or top two? They're getting old in some places, but people have a lot of confidence in Beach, the general manager, and of course Andy Reid, Hall of Fame coach, and Mahomes. But are they capable of just redoing this and rebooting this and being right back in the hunt for a championship?
Yeah, I think it's definitely one of the biggest stories this offseason. The Chiefs and teams like the Ravens and the Bills, trying to get back to it. But the Chiefs in particular, look, I think their floor is still going to be pretty high with Mahomes at quarterback. Now I know he's coming off an ACL, and maybe that affects him early in the season. I think he'll be back though in time to play, and I think he'll be back. And even if he's a little bit less effective, he's still Patrick Mahomes and very, very good. So that's the starting point. I think the question for them, though, Travis Kelce, is he going to retire? Are you going to get another year out of him? Rashee Rice, your other very good receiver, is in the news for, bad things every single day, seemingly. So they don't have a long-term receiving option between Rashee Rice and then you have Xavier Worthy, who, might not be like a true number one, but he's a great speed receiver. You've got offensive line questions, got to figure out right tackle. And then, the defense is going to have some turnover. Chris Jones is getting a little bit older. So there are some questions on that roster. And then they're picking at number 9. And, look, the Chiefs always get compared to the Patriots as far as their dynasty goes. Patriots had one top 10 pick during their dynasty years. They got, through trades or whatever, they got the number 8 overall pick, drafted Gerard Mayo at linebacker in 2008. You don't see teams like the Chiefs picking in the top 10 often. So that's going to be a fascinating, discussion as far as where do they go with a rare pick in the top 10? Where do they go? They're one of those teams, if you look at available cap space, they're going to be down the bottom, toward the bottom. They have flexibility. That stuff changes as far as restructures and everything. So it's not like they can't sign anybody, but they have less flexibility than some other teams at this point. So, yeah, they're going to be one of the biggest stories because it's always like, hey, we've got this foundation of Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Spags as defensive coordinator. What do you do with your resources? And coming off a bad year, the Chiefs they've got some work to do.
Kelce, you mentioned retire. You think he retires or comes back?
I would lean toward retires. He said,
yeah.
The league year starts in the second week of March, and so I think that announcement has to come before then. I think he wanted it to be before then, so the Chiefs at least know what they're working with here. Do they need to get a free agent? There are a lot of tight ends available actually in free agency and in the draft. It's a pretty deep year for tight end availability, so that'll be interesting to see if Kelce does retire. What they try to do to replace him. And then you just say, hey, does he want to go out on a low note? Bad taste in his mouth, or is he just like, man, I've got my 3 Super Bowls. I'm getting married. I'm good. I mean, I retired from baseball the year I got married. So just to relate.
I love it.
She was like, hey, you're done. I think the dream's over. We gotta raise a family, get a real job.
I think the dream is this AAA San Francisco Giants?
I was still playing. I had already been released. I was playing independent for a couple of years.
I got you.
So, yeah, I needed to get re-signed again by another team and given another opportunity. And I was 30, and then she was like, hey, might be over. And I was like, yeah, I think you're right. So.
Oh, man. Steve Palazzolo on the Out of Bounds Show, brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue, the official healthcare provider of the Out of Bounds Show. You're listening to 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. All right, so one of the big stories is the Chiefs. All right, you mentioned Baltimore and Buffalo, and I want to talk about the Giants too. How do you feel about John Harbaugh to the New York Giants and who he's hired, and now they'll be working with Jackson Dart from Ole Miss?
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty big coup for the Giants to be able to get John Harbaugh with some of the other jobs available. And I think it's an attractive job because of what Jackson Dart did as a rookie. Looks like there's, a lot to build upon there. Of course, they got to keep him healthy and get him playing within himself, not trying to do too much. But the foundation for the Giants with Dart, with Malik Neighbors, Abdul Carter, Dexter Lawrence, they've got some good players there. They have a left tackle, Andrew Thomas. For other teams that have not won a lot of games and are rebuilding, the Giants have some good foundational pieces. Then you add Harbaugh to the mix, and he's built a fascinating staff. People from all these other teams. A lot of times when a coach comes in, he just brings in all his people, everybody he's familiar with. Harbaugh's bringing people in from all over, and so that's going to be fascinating to watch. But his strength for almost 20 years in Baltimore was taking, not being an X's and O's guru, so to speak. He was a special teams coach, but having different offensive coordinators and having success, having different defensive coordinators, having success. The other big story there is John Harbaugh is going to have personnel control and have the final say over general manager Joe Shane.
Saw that.
Will be interesting to see what happens a year from now if Shane gets pushed out or, if Harbaugh gets someone that he is familiar with in the front office, how they coexist, how they work together. So that'll be an interesting dynamic that we'll see, this year's draft and beyond. So, look, I think it's a great move for the Giants to compete in the NFC East and, give Jackson Dart a chance to really succeed.
I read the article in The Athletic about Harbaugh, basically saying to Mara, I have to answer to you, like you just referenced, and how that all kind of went down. That is going to be interesting where the GM, fits in here, because Harbaugh comes in as like, I'm not going to answer to you. I'm answering to the owner, and I'm bringing in my personnel people. Do you see Jackson Dart as a future star at quarterback in the NFL, Steve?
He definitely showed elements of it. More so now than I did maybe last year at this time. He was really impressive. I didn't know that he had all of that in him. I didn't know that and maybe Ole Miss fans are like, come on, Steve, you're an idiot. But I didn't know his running ability was that good. He has a great feel for running. I thought at Ole Miss, he would scramble when he needed to. He'd pick it up. He'd lower his head, finish plays. I thought he was an opportunistic runner. But he was special with the ball in his hands last year at the NFL level, whether it was scrambling, whether it was design runs, and not just lowering his head and finishing, but just general spatial awareness and the way he ran the ball. So I thought that was impressive. And then you look at the way the team just got elevated. Now, you didn't get this long stretch of play from Dart because of the injuries, but, beating the Eagles on Thursday Night Football, they beat some good teams and looked far more competent with him under center than they did with Russell Wilson. And so I thought they didn't win a lot of games last year, but I thought he showed all those flashes, especially given the circumstances. As soon as Malik Neighbors gets hurt and you're dealing with, Wan'Dale Robinson is a pretty good receiver, but that's about it. So given the circumstances, I thought Dart was impressive, showed a ton for the future. And now to me, the big question is you figure out how to corral him a little bit and not have him, taking shots. And, do you run him 10 to 12 times a game because he's that good at it?
Ooh.
You've got the number of times that he got banged up or, got tested for a concussion, had a concussion. That's a little worrisome. So you got to figure out how to get him to play within himself, but also, lean into that special playmaking ability.
Yeah. So super talented, has a big time coach now. Bartu does not like the offensive coordinator hire. Said that was pretty terrible.
Oh, Nagy?
Yeah. Yeah. So Bartu, I just saw the back and forth. He worked like you. He works with several NFL teams. And I asked him briefly off the air about it, but I saw him tweet when Harbaugh hired Nagy. He was like, that's not a good hire. What are your thoughts, Steve P?
So I know Dave does a lot of work with, attaching the coordinator to the, success of the offense and everything. It's a tricky one because I thought a lot of Chiefs fans were like, man, all of Mahomes' stats disappeared. That got way worse when Nagy was there. They brought him back in 2023 through last year, and those are the three worst seasons that Mahomes had. Now, of course, there's confounding variables. The personnel's been different. Mahomes has not played as well. There's reasons for that. So it depends on how much blame you want to give Nagy, I think, for the Mahomes years. I thought with the Bears, they overachieved for one season with Mitch Trubisky at quarterback, so that might be a feather in the cap for Nagy, but Bears fans certainly aren't saying, man, we wish we had him back. So, yeah, it was a fascinating offseason because the Chiefs went and basically assumed that they were losing Matt Nagy. I don't know if they thought that he was going to Tennessee to get the head coaching job because of his connections there, but he didn't get that. The Chiefs basically said, thanks for everything, Coach Nagy, and he didn't have an official job. And then he shows up as the OC with the Giants. So, yeah, it was an interesting one. Yeah, I don't know. I might be with Dave on that, but I think there are some confounding variables there.
Okay. We're visiting with Steve Palazzolo, NFL insider on the Out of Bounds show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN, brought to you by the wood-fired pizzas and amazing bolognese at Taste Italian Kitchen in the Renaissance, tasteitaliankitchen.com to make a reservation. All right. What did you think about the Joe Brady? The Buffalo Bills decided to fire Sean McDermott, who was like 83-33 or something, because he couldn't get over the hump, and they hired Joe Brady. What was your reaction to that hire?
I thought it was fine. I think it was actually a good move for the Bills. I spoke to some people around Buffalo, and they're talking more about culture and tweaks, and sometimes you just need, a new voice at the top. So my thing with Buffalo is they've been so close for so many years, much like the 90s. You're talking a play here and a play there away from going to a Super Bowl. And last year, just going to the AFC Championship again. And so when you have that, I don't think you want to start over. You're so close. Like, there's no way you could just blow the whole thing up. So I like the fact that they have some continuity with Joe Brady. This will be his third full season now with Josh Allen under center. But you had to change something. That was what their feeling was. And so I think I'm okay. I'm okay with that. So now it's going to be, okay, how do you get over the hump? How do you get someone else to get you, past the fact that, you lose these one-score games in the playoffs, and it's usually against the Chiefs, and this year it happened to be against the Broncos. It was good. I thought it was fine. Just keep the nucleus intact. And now it reminded, I'll be honest, I watched the Red Sox documentary last summer with my kids.
Yeah.
When they, from the 2004
I did too.
Red Sox, when they beat the Yankees. And you just heard, you've got this analytically sound Theo Epstein coming in, and they're using all the data. But he was like, we just needed, it was almost like Kevin Millar was the hero just because the locker room was, laid back and different, and they felt like they believed. And a lot of that's just hindsight bias. But I almost felt like the Bills need that, which is they've got all the right players. It's just they just need a little culture shift. They need to believe they can beat the best teams. They need to believe, whatever it might be. Okay. And I think, making a change can kind of get you there.
I want to go over quarterbacks and sacks again. It's fascinating to me. Steve Palazzolo had the NFL podcast of the year, joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Walk our listeners through how your thoughts and kind of the approach on how the overwhelming majority of sacks are on the quarterback, Steve P.
Yeah, the real strong analytical people would say sacks are a QB stat. That's the cleanest way of saying it, and all that means is they've got the biggest impact on sack totals, and it's because they control the action completely. And so if the O-line gives up pressure, it doesn't mean it's going to become a sack because the quarterback can still get rid of the ball, he can escape, whatever it might be. But the best quarterbacks tend to have lower sack totals, and that tends to travel with them across teams, whether it's Tom Brady going to the Bucs, whether it's Peyton Manning going to the Broncos, Dan Marino, go look at his sack totals historically. He was annually the number one player in the NFL at sack avoidance. He had some ridiculous numbers. And because you can defeat the pass rush by getting rid of the ball, by having a quick release, by knowing where you're going with it, and the quarterbacks who tend to hold the ball longer, even if they do pick up, rushing yards or they create big plays down the field, those guys tend to, get sacked a lot more. Aaron Rodgers, higher sack totals relative to some of the other elite quarterbacks, right? Rodgers is always compared to Breeze and Brady and Manning. Those other three guys always had lower sack totals than Rodgers. It was just a part of his game that was pretty consistent. Now, he had lower interception totals, but I think he balanced it out with the sack total. So most of the time we go and we blame the offensive line, but just watch that, even if you just watch the game, through that lens. When the line loses, watch the number of times that the line loses, but the ball's out and the ball's out with good quarterbacks. And then other times when there's actually a clean pocket and a quarterback might drift into pressure,
Right.
drift into a sack, or run backwards through the through the back of the pocket. They can manipulate the rush pretty much as much as the offensive line, has an impact on the pass rush. So the quarterback just has so much power because they control the action, and most of the time their sack rate is relatively consistent, even when they do change teams.
What percentage would you put on it that's the quarterback's fault?
I'd say it's 40 to 50% probably of the sacks. You could say, I'd say of 40 to 50% of sacks, you could say, hey, they had somewhere else they could go. They could have handled this situation differently.
Thrown the ball away, all that stuff, right?
Yeah. And then look, if you have an offensive line that gives up 40% pressure rate, which is insanely high, you're going to get sacked more often, right? Because it's not 100% on you, but yeah, throwing the ball away, saving negative plays, whether you step through the pocket or try to vacate backwards, all of those things matter. So the QB, I say 40 to 50, might even be more than that, to be honest.
Yeah, I would think it is.
But that's a big percentage in football is what I'm saying, though, because I would look at coverage matters in that situation. If nobody's open, sacks happen too, and
right?
then the blocking. So it's really 3 tiers, right? It's, is anybody open? Is the blocking working up front? And then how is the quarterback handling the pocket and the pressure?
I've only got a minute, but now that so many of these guys are dual threat mobile quarterbacks, is that the most difficult thing to convey or communicate to a quarterback this day and age, to just get rid of the ball and play for another down instead of taking a loss or a sack?
It's like the Jackson Dart discussion. There's like a little bit of boom or bust to that. So if you have a quarterback who could pick up 10 on a scramble, but he's also going to lose 7 on a sack here and there, and then at some point you just wanted to pick your spots, man. Like, you got to run when you're supposed to, but you got to learn when to throw the ball away and save 2nd and 10 instead of having 2nd and 17. So I think absolutely it's really important for quarterbacks to play within themselves and learn when to use their athleticism.
All right, my man. I think Jackson Meadows is going to play fantasy baseball with all 4 of your kids.
Love it. Yeah, we need a league. Let's talk, Jackson.
I'm
we need
in.
a league for the kids.
It can be on a heater. That's what we'll call it, the league. It can't be straight funk, I don't think. It's got to be on a heater. Thanks, Steve P. See you, buddy. NFL
right,
Podcast of the Year. He joined us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. We are the Out of Bounds Show. We're brought to you by Burgers Blues Barbecue, B3 Dogwood Flowwood. They now have a green space at that restaurant, Dogwood Flowwood. Check it out for lunch today. Burgers Blues Barbecue, Dogwood Flowwood.
WRKS Pickens Jackson.
All systems go.
Live from the Whiskey 61 Lounge inside the Bank Plus studio.
Is now recorded.
Live in the studio. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. Streaming live worldwide on the Out of Bounds radio app. And on your radio at ESPN 105.9. All set? Let's go. The Zone.
All right, here we go. Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. The show is brought to you by Two Brothers Restaurant and Bar in Starkville, Mississippi. And Older Brother Bistro, hit that for baseball season this weekend. Any of the weekends you're up there. Pre-game, post-game, all the time. And we're excited to welcome in our friend's special guest, Terry Powell. He's a landscape architect. And so if you need to do an outdoor kitchen, super cool outdoor patio, pull all the different fun things that we get to do, especially in this area with the weather 10 months out of the year. You want to call our friend Terry Powell and let him come check out what you want to do. But he's also a singer-songwriter, and we've been friends for a long time now, and I saw him post last week his new song, Hooked on Waylon, on Spotify, so I hit it. And I was like, ooh, I like this. And we need to get T. Powell back in studio. So Terry Powell, special guest on the show. How you doing, buddy?
Great, man. Thanks for having me in. I appreciate the all the support you're giving.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. And thanks for supporting Two Brothers and Older Brother. You know, our wings are now at Duty Noble.
I saw that.
So that's great. So you can roll into Starkville, catch a game, and then grab some great food at the stadium, and then come have some great spirits to celebrate a win.
You know, when Barton told me that a couple of months ago, I was like, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Two Brothers Wings at Duty Noble. That's
Right.
that makes sense. That's the perfect marriage.
We started this thing over 12 years ago in the Cotton District at a smaller place where the Older Brother is now, just because of our love for the community, love for Mississippi State, and our love for each other. So there's 5 of us in that business, and it's been one of the best endeavors ever because it's really an investment in people and in the community, and bringing great options for food to the area, and just a great place to party and to experience Starkville. But it's been a great endeavor, and we love it, and we appreciate all the support from the university and from the fans. So I'm excited to partner up with the university at being able to provide food. We're also doing the pulled pork. If you have,
oh, nice,
on the pulled pork nachos, any of those are Two Brothers products. So. And then we're also, Bryce Chance is our sponsored athlete through the collective.
What a great story.
Yeah. So we're excited to help in any way and to be a part of that community because they've been such a blessing to us and what Mississippi State means to us.
Sure.
And it's just, it's a win-win-win situation.
Terry Powell, Two Brothers, and Older Brother Bistro. Barton's doing a great job.
Oh, man.
And I love
Josh, Joe, all those guys.
Yeah, they're, and y'all have got so many cool areas where you can hang out.
Yeah.
The front porch, the balconies, the back balcony, the green space. There's a lot going on, which is really cool.
And we got more things on the horizon I'm not ready to talk about, but we're in the works for some big stuff coming.
Well, Older Brother Bistro has been a tremendous success.
You know what I love about Older Brother is the food is, I'm going to say, the best in Mississippi that I've had. If it's not the best, it's I'd like to see someone beat it because it's amazing. But it's a place where we can celebrate the past of what our success was at Two Brothers in there. But when you go in there, you feel like you're in your favorite little bistro in New Orleans because of all of the pictures on the wall. The setting is very quaint, and it's cool because we've got clientele and customers and good friends that bring their family pictures, these black and white pictures of their past, and put on the wall. So they take ownership of the place as much as we do, and I love that because Older Brother is a place you can not just celebrate great food, great spirits, but we can celebrate the past and the present there. So it's a lot of fun, man. And people have really taken ownership of Older Brother and call it their own. And that's what it's all about.
The Reuben, the deviled eggs with drizzled honey and bacon.
Crab claws.
The crab claws, the muffaletta, the list, and heck, the cheeseburger's amazing.
Heck, I'm not even a kale salad person, and I love the kale salad. You know, I mean, I obviously don't look like a kale salad guy, but I mean, I love kale salad.
And Barton mixes in specials and stuff at night, which is really, and y'all rent it out.
And the
to different
cocktails, man,
corporate groups
we
and
have
universities.
some of the best craft cocktails in Starkville, right there. So if you want a good atmosphere, a good drink, and a great entree, or appetizer, and you feel like you've got some ownership of the place, come to Older Brother. If you hadn't checked it out, please come. You love it.
So I also want to talk about what you do, your day job.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So Terry Powell, landscape architect, you do outdoor kitchens and
Patios.
All right. So talk about
porches. Yeah. So I love creating spaces. So went to Mississippi State, got my landscape architecture degree, and then have my contracting degree. So I'm a general contractor. And that is my number one passion. I love to build spaces for people to congregate and to celebrate their life experiences in there, whether it's their anniversary parties, their graduation parties, their engagement parties. And so what's so fun to me, Bo, is to be able to bring what God-given talents have given me to be able to create outdoor spaces for people that engage them throughout the entire year, make it comfortable in the summer and in the winter, and make it usable year-round, and engage all the human senses, bring people together, but also to play music in those spaces really brings it all full circle for me. So I've got great friends and clients who all my clients turn out to be friends, and so we wind up entertaining on a lot of our projects, which is a lot of fun. Yeah. Yeah, it's a great experience.
So the whole outdoor kitchen, outdoor patio space, the way it's evolved the last 15 years is pretty unbelievable.
Yeah. So what it does, it affords you the opportunity to take whether it's a 2,500 square foot house, a 3,500 square foot house, you add a 700 square foot addition, a porch on the back side that you spend more time in than the rest of your house. All of a sudden, your house is less cluttered. You've got more usable space. If you implement a fire pit or a pool or places to get comfortable throughout the extremes of our weather. Yeah. And then now with the phantom screens, we can really warm outdoor spaces in the wintertime and have, protection from insects. So it's really, now is the optimal time to utilize your square footage and to add on to it by not a tremendous amount of money. So it's a lot more affordable to get the most bang for your dollar outside.
And that's where we want to be.
Yes, absolutely.
We want to be celebrating life outside, but in somewhat of it can be climate controlled, which is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Indoor, outdoor kind of deal.
Right.
Enjoy the sunshine and the green space and all that, but also celebrate with cooking and having a good beverage. And like you said, music.
Like what you said, it's all of those things because it's a dynamic environment. It's not static like interior can be. So the things are always changing. The light's always changing. The scenery's always changing outside. So it gives you that background to whether you're watching the game outside, you're entertaining, you're telling a story, whatever. We want to create spaces that are conducive for people wanting to hang out because that's where memories are going to be made.
Sure.
And so that's very rewarding. It's a lot of fun, and I enjoy that. So that's a big passion of mine.
That drives your creative brain too, not just music.
Absolutely, because I grew up in the outdoor. I grew up on a ranch in Tennessee, right inside the city limits of Memphis, which is hard to believe. We had horses, cows, even had buffalo. It was a lot of fun. But what was cool was that I didn't see myself being in an office corporate environment. So I wanted to pursue a career in the outdoor arena, so landscape architecture has afforded me the opportunity to do that. But in that design process, the same processes that allow you to design spaces also work with creative writing, whether it's composing a story or composing a song. It's the same idea where you take a general idea and you let it evolve through the process with some discernment along the way, but you want to keep it with a loose hand. So it's a balance, and I enjoy doing that.
Terry Powell, landscape architect and singer-songwriter, is going to play his new single, his new song that's on Spotify, Hooked on Waylon, coming up next. You can watch it on YouTube, search Out of Bounds Sports, Terry Powell in the house and about to sing Hooked on Waylon.
Steel guitar and honky tonk bar playing outlaw country tune.
All right, good morning. Welcome in. Go to YouTube, search Out of Bounds Sports. You can see Terry Powell and me to a certain extent, but the focus is Terry Powell singing today. And he's got his new song out on Spotify, Hooked on Waylon, and he's playing tonight at Mudbugs, Old Fannin at the Reservoir. Is that right, T-Powell?
That's right. That's right. From 6 to 9.
6 to 9 tonight.
Or whenever they kick me out.
You post funny stuff when you're. How many gigs a year do you
About
50. About 50.
Yeah. Sometimes
Rabbit
it's-
Hole, Mudbugs, Yacht Club, Starkville.
Yeah.
Dave's.
Hobie's, all those. Yeah. And some at Two Brothers, too. I like to bounce it around. And just, it's so fun for me to play live. I love playing live and then playing my songs I write live and then working in people's names in the songs. It's a lot of fun. It's a great night job for me. So I enjoy it.
Terry Powell on the Out of Bounds show. All right, so he's playing tonight at Mudbugs, 6 to 9 at the Reservoir. That's awesome. And he just released a new song on Spotify, Hooked on Waylon. And you ready to roll?
I'm
you can
ready,
go to
guys.
YouTube, search Out of Bounds Sports, and of course it'll be posted later too. And you can hear T. Powell sing this song. Here we go.
Somebody steel guitar in that honky-tonk bar playing outlaw country tunes. Friday nights in the neon lights shooting whiskey and 9-ball pool. That old school country southern rock and roll and Mississippi Delta blues. Hard whiskey, good weed and bad women. It'll get you hooked on Waylon Jennings. Get you hooked on Jennings. There's something about a 4x4 pistol in your door and red clay on your boots. Sweating in the sun till all the work's done, 'cause everything depends on you. Them long neck bottles, long legged models wearing cut off Daisy Dukes. Hard whiskey, good weed, and bad women. It'll get you hooked on Waylon Jennings. Hey, 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 it'll get you hooked on Jennings. With songs like Drinking and Dreaming and Rambling Man and Lonesome Ornery Man. Always been crazy Luke in Bach, Texas, pushing 40 and still wearing jeans. Just like that old freight train that's racing through your brain on a track that never ends. Rolling full throttle on Jim Beam bottles and all your rowdy friends. Hard whiskey, good weed, and bad women. It'll get you hooked on Waylon Jennings. To get you hooked on Jennings. So if you love steel guitars and honky-tonk bars and outlaw country tunes, Friday nights in the neon light shooting whiskey and 9-ball pool, that old school country southern rock and roll and Mississippi Delta blues, hard whiskey, good weed, and bad women. Son, you're hooked on Waylon Jennings. Yeah, 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 you're just hooked on Jennings. Yeah, 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 we're all hooked on Jennings. Yeah, 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 we're hooked on Jennings. And steel guitars, honky-tonk bars, and outlaw country tunes.
All right, great job, my man.
You could tell that wasn't lip sync.
That's right.
was
Hey.
definitely live, and usually I don't play gigs at 9:30 in the
I
morning.
know.
But man, I love.
Thank you for doing
love
that.
playing. No, man, thank you.
All right, so Hooked on Waylon, it's on Spotify.
That's right.
And how long have you had that written?
That's been written probably maybe a month, you
Okay.
know, and so that's what I've always got a song that I'm working on, and so or multiple, and it's one of the things that I found in songwriting and in design. I have to put one to bed before I can really put 100% of my attention on the next one. So it's an incentive because I don't want to really be distracted while I'm doing it. So while I'm driving down the road and working on a song, I want to try to finish the one that's 80% done. I don't want to just shelve it. So.
Are you always like you think of a lyric and you put it in your iPhone notes or you write it down at the house, things like that?
Yeah, exactly. I'll hear something or I'll think of something, a phrasing, and so it's an organic process.
Yeah.
I don't have there's 5,000 ways to write a song. I just have to pick one, you know.
Right.
But they come to you organically, and it's with all the socializing and the talking and all of the friends I have, somebody's going to say something,
Absolutely,
that's going to stick and resonate, and usually some of the subject matter, most of the subject matter is my own experiences, but also just being around and picking up other people's story, because everybody's got a story.
Yeah.
You know, and some people have thousands of stories, but everybody's got a song that could be written about them, you know, and so it's easy to tap into that spirit of the song.
I'm always using people to incorporate them into the show.
Well,
whatever people are saying or doing, I'm like, oh, I'll take that and talk about it on the show.
Well, you're like me. You're just curious.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just genuinely and just basically curious about what other people, what their story is. And I'm curious about a lot of subjects. So that keeps you engaged instead of, you know, and so that's the number one trait to being able to be, I think, effective at whatever you do. You got to stay curious.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of where it is.
That's where the creative juices come from. For me, we have to create content and storytelling every day.
Right.
For you create outdoor spaces for people, and you create through songwriting.
Right. So it's got that element to it. But I love meeting new people and just finding out what makes them click, man. Yeah. And that's there's usually a song somewhere written in there, you know.
Terry Powell's new song, Hooked on Waylon, on Spotify. And he'll be at Mudbugs tonight from 6 to 9, the one on Old Fannin at the Reservoir.
Yeah, they call it 047. It's funny because
047.
Brandon is like, so it's kind of like a flex. They've got multiple zip codes, so they just throw that on you, you know, like we're supposed to. So for Madison people, we got to use the decoder and just say, it's on Old Fannin. We don't know. Yeah, we're going to
I still
047.
get them confused.
Yeah.
042, 047. I just know one's at the Reservoir and one's downtown Brandon.
You can tell they're trying to flex on Madison.
They are.
That's all they're doing. You know,
and they have the best crawfish and shrimp and crab legs.
Yeah, man. It's a great environment. It's a party. It's fun. Now's a good time to come get crawfish. It's after Mardi Gras, after Super Bowl. So, you know, you don't have to take out a loan to get them. So it's great.
And it'll only get better.
Yeah.
Over the next few weeks. All right, Terry Powell in the house. Are you going to hang out again for another segment, or are you heading out?
Sure. Yeah, I'm here.
Do you want to talk Waste Management Open?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
Let's do that.
So I was there 2 weeks ago, and T. Powell was there on a guy's trip 2 weeks ago. And we both done some cool stuff. And I said this. I mean, look, the Masters is amazing, and the Final Four is amazing, and all this. The Waste Management Open is up there in my top two. Just an unbelievable sport marketing event. So we'll talk to Terry Powell. He was there a couple of weeks ago about our experience and everything. I'll say this again. I cannot believe the food was as good as it was to feed that many, 180,000 people a day. I don't even get it. Man. All right. Show Me the Money Friday on the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 1059 The Zone. Bo Bounds, Terry Powell with you. Landscape architect, also restaurateur. That's kind of cool. And you can put that on your LinkedIn. And also singer-songwriter. He just dropped another song, Hooked on Waylon. And it's on Spotify. And T. Powell posted it within the last week, and I hit it, and I was like, I love that. I love the vibe. I love the rhythm. I love the lyrics. And so we had to get him in. We need to start getting you in 2 or 3 times a year. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, man. I'm
even though
down.
it's the morning.
I love it. No, I love
can't
it.
move
I love
my
it.
time
I love
slot.
it. Well, had Josh Hubbard not scored 46 points, Josh Hubbard was not great for my voice this week. I really feel like I'm, partly to, because I'm encouraging, but you could tell if my voice sounds good, Mississippi State's not doing very well in sports.
Right.
So I've had a really good voice for about 3 years.
How awesome was that? All right, so he's such a tremendous player and young man.
Yeah.
And like you, I've known him forever.
Right.
He's been out to the house and on the lake, and he's just a yes, sir, no. Here's what I tell everybody. I told Chris Jans this first year.
Yeah.
So it was the first summer Josh was on campus.
Right.
And I said, I want you to know this. I have cooked burgers for them. I've done all this kind of stuff when they come out and they slalom and wakeboard and tube and all that stuff. I said, he throws his stuff away. Yes, sir, no, sir. And he comes back to the house and says, thank you.
Raised right.
And Jan said, are you serious? I went, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the kind of person you want as a leader on
Exactly.
the team, because that sort of runs the character through the entire team. So
Right.
we've got some great leadership. And what I love about Josh, his personality, like you said, is just he's very respectful.
Infectious.
Yes. So, but he looks short on the court, and when you meet him, he's probably going to be taller than you. So that's kind of one of the things that's kind of like, you're not as short as I thought.
Yeah.
But
And built like a strong safety.
so here's what's interesting about watching him. It occurred to me that may be watching him on Wednesday night and how fast his trigger was on those shots and how guarded he was and how there's not a whole lot of picks set and not a lot of offense set for him to actually, he's doing that in spite of that. And being able to knock down 40-foot shots with a defender in his face and the ball hitting nothing but net, he was really, I thought, probably it was the best single game performance I've ever seen an athlete from Mississippi State and really almost any level collegiately. And maybe, I hadn't watched a lot of NBA, but I would say he's right up there with some of the elite. But I got to thinking, I said, I knew he was a great football player at one point in his life. Yeah. He's a great athlete. Whatever he chose to be passionate about, he would excel at it.
Sure.
And then I got to thinking about, man, look at his footwork. Look at how great of an athlete he is. Could you imagine if he would have turned into a boxer? Oh, what an amazing, just watch him when he's on and you see it. Yeah. And he reminds me of some of the cruiserweight guys I watched growing up and just how good his footwork is and how quick his trigger is.
Yeah.
He would have been an amazing boxer. Yeah. It's probably too late for him now, but basketball is definitely a great sport for him and he is excelling at it. And, he's pretty good at it.
I mean, 15 to 27. Really? I mean, he hit 10 threes.
Yeah.
T. Powell, he played 39 minutes and had 0 turnovers.
He didn't look tired. He literally didn't look tired. Yeah.
You're right, though. It was arguably the best performance in the history of Mississippi State basketball. And that's saying something with Bailey Howell, Jeff Malone, and many, many others under Richard Williams and Rick Stansberry that were phenomenal.
They were before my time, so I don't want to sell them short. I'm sure they were, Bailey was amazing.
But you're right. The degree of difficulty on some of those, a lot of those shots on Wednesday night were ridiculous. I'm glad you were there. Were you going crazy?
I was. When we were all in, 5 minutes into the game, we looked at each other and said, this is a different level.
Right.
He's always been good and really great, but this was another level of that. And then there's been games where he's been cold, but
that's what I wanted to talk about. Think about, as many times as Jake Mangum and Tanner Allen have been in studio and they talk about their cold stretches and how you get out of them. Think about Josh was on a cold spell and now he's dropped over 100 points in 3 games.
I
mean, he went to Ole Miss and
Yeah.
dropped 32 points and 6 assists.
Yeah, that's a big slump buster right there.
I mean, good
unbelievable. Yeah, unreal. But he's at a different level right now, and man, I'd love to see a little more help. From the other guys. Obviously, Jones was playing hard, Epps was playing hard. It just looks like we just have problems down low. And if we had some help, it'd be.
It's a good year to be good.
Yeah,
and Jans will have to reboot that thing, and
right, he will
get rolling.
I
think he's won at every level.
Right.
JUCO out in New Mexico State. I can't remember which one.
But who had the performance? Okay, so Josh is getting all the attention as he should because it was amazing. But honorable mention, the halftime show, Red Panda.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I didn't watch it.
This lady is amazing on her unicycle with 8 feet to 10 feet in the air, flipping bowls off of her feet onto her. She makes me a nervous wreck, but she also has ice in her veins. It is really unbelievable.
Was it really cool?
Yeah, and I've seen her twice, and every time I know she's going to do it, but I'm still thinking, like, if she had one little hiccup, she's not going to MEA, she's going to ICU. I mean, it is not like, I don't know who underwrites her workers' comp, but they're really,
Oh, my goodness.
I don't think they've seen her perform. She is amazing.
Can you imagine?
She is awesome. I don't know how you learn you can do that, but
Gotta have a
anyway,
life
I got to
insurance
bring her up because that was
Cool.
She's called the Red Panda?
Red Panda.
Okay.
Yeah, check her out.
I saw some of that online.
Yeah.
Socials. That's cool.
Honorable mention for Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay, so Hubbard was MVP.
Yeah.
And Red Panda was honorable mention.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
that's fair enough.
And anytime we get to beat John Cohen and Keyshawn Murphy, that was a
Did
little
you
extra bonus.
see? I mean, you were there, but did you see Hubbard popping his jersey?
Yeah,
T-Pop?
yeah. That last 3 in the corner, I think it was the last 3. I'm sure it was the last 3 because he put the call me sign
I love
on.
that.
That was awesome. That was great. And then he said, "You don't leave state."
Yeah.
So what a great ambassador. And he just we had to come back in that game, which was it looked like it could have gone against us, but it was.
I mean, he scored 35 in the first. He outscored Auburn
the entire time. I've never seen that before. Have you ever seen a player outscore the team?
No, 35 points in the first half.
Yeah, never seen that before.
And
I've watched a lot of basketball, and that's not something you're going to likely see again.
And then they took him out. I mean, obviously they went in the locker room and said, "We're not letting him score." So they basically had 2 or 3 guys on him for a big chunk of the second half, and yet he still made some buckets that counted.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Down the stretch too.
He creates his own shot. He gets open, and he can split coverage and drive, and so he can beat you a lot of different ways.
Well, that's the deal. He can score at all 3 levels. He can score off the glass or at the rim. He can score mid-range, and he can score, as you just described earlier, he can score from the parking lot. And so the one thing about him, he's got this unbelievable acceleration and touch, even though he's going 900 miles per hour to the goal. He can kiss it off the glass. That's a lot more difficult than I think we give those players credit for, to be able to be going that fast and then just kiss it off the glass with somebody on you.
Absolutely. With he's got a height disadvantage.
Sure.
So he's got to overcome that with his speed and with his creativity. Like that guy is doing something. He's dribbling behind his back. He finds the opening where there is no opening.
Right.
So I was so proud of him.
Yeah.
And what he deserved that.
Because it was a rough 2-week stretch, and now he's 3 games in a row, and he's over 100 points, and one of them he scored 46. And he went to Ole Miss when Ole Miss could have swept you, and drops 32 points at their place, which is not easy, with 6 assists, and then comes back and scores 46.
He's got the heart of a lion, man. Yeah. I tell you what, it'd be great. I just hope he comes back next year.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think he will. And like you said, I think Jans will get this thing rolling. All right, I want to talk Waste Management Open. So Terry Powell on the Out of Bounds show, landscape architect, super cool outdoor kitchens, outdoor patios, pools, all the cool things that we like to do, decks.
And site planning. If you've got a new home on you're looking to build, we can site plan the entire, that's what we do a lot of too. So we'll get you in the right direction. We'll get you through permitting and get you ready to go with
all the
setting
hurdles.
Get you set up for success on the construction. We can also build your outdoor environment for you too. So just if I can ever help you, let me know.
Design and build. Terry Powell, landscape architect, also singer songwriter. His new song is "Hooked on Waylon," and you can find it on Spotify. He'll play tonight at Mudbugs from 6 to 9, the one at the Reservoir, Old Fannin. Awesome crawfish, shrimp, and crab legs. So 2 weeks ago, you took a guy's trip to Waste Management Open, and I took my son out there, and y'all had a blast. Talk about, was that you played the course. Was that your first time at the tournament, or have you been out there before?
No, that was my first time at the Waste Management Open. Well, they call it the People's Open, but the Waste Management tournament, the Phoenix Open is what it's called. But we had we had an opportunity to bid on a Ducks Unlimited suite, and we actually, it never got sold, so we got it at a discount. So that's the only way we went. I never expected to go to the Phoenix Open, but it was an amazing experience. I didn't even know that Arizona had a Ducks Unlimited chapter. I didn't know they had water, but evidently they do. And but the organization of managing 70,000 spectators, primarily on 3 holes, like if you walked any other holes than 17,
there's nobody there.
16, 17, and 18, you pretty much had the hole almost to yourself. Not really, but almost. But their organization, the way they moved the crowd, it was amazing. I recommend it to anybody that wants to go to a beautiful part of the country at a great time of year. You won't have anything but a great time.
Yeah. So here's what y'all were on 16 both days.
Yeah, we were there Thursday and Friday. We were on 16 in the Penn High Club, which is a new club. And so the proximity to the pin, they had moved the pin to the left side of the green on 17. So we were on Friday when we were there. So it was on 16, and we were very close to all of the putts. We could see, you could see everything both days, but it was really amazing. On Thursday, Joel Diamond came up. This was the golfer who I wasn't very familiar with, but I knew he had ripped his shirt off last year. Got a $300,000 fine from the tour.
That's what you would have done, Jay Meadows.
Quick.
Because,
Yeah.
you don't believe in wearing a shirt.
Don't need it.
Everybody's got 300 to drop, for that. So then he walks to, after his tee shot, he puts on a Seattle Seahawks helmet. Walks up to the green, of course. Now he was chipping. Okay, he wasn't on the surface of the green, but he wasn't far off. He had a 44 foot. He was 44 feet from the pin.
Okay,
chips in.
No way.
After having that helmet on.
Wow.
The crowd that's awesome. We actually had this hole-in-one pool in our group, and everybody had some money in it, like we were going to see a hole-in-one. Well, that didn't happen. But I didn't realize only 9 hole-in-ones have been recorded during tournament time. I thought that it was going to be more than that, and there weren't a ton of birdies.
No.
Like that green had a lot of movement to it.
It did.
There were not many shots within 7 feet of the pin. And so it was funny because they'll put the percentage on the screen
on the board,
of what they're going to likely hit. It's like this guy has a 46% chance of making this putt. I couldn't believe how many. There were 10% of the golfers, they gave a 0% chance of making the putt. And with them being on the green, they got to work on those analytics because surely they've got a chance.
Yeah.
Right?
We're at least at 10%.
Even if it's just a percentage of a percent, you would think that there would be. So, but it was fun. We had met a lot of cool people. Definitely going to try to go back and make that happen again.
It exceeded my expectations.
Mine too. It
really did.
Yeah.
We were there for one day that you were there, and then Friday and Saturday. The weather was great.
It was. And the people, I went with Bobby Elmore, Kerry Pennebaker, Brad Wilkinson, a lot of fun. So being with great people in a great environment and at a new tournament was a lot of fun. And I tell you, people will tell you this, if they play the TPC Scottsdale, I was fortunate enough to play that about 3 years ago. When we played Arizona, we the stadium, the city of Scottsdale will not issue a permit for that to be a permanent structure. So they just keep it staged on that upper road to the right of 16. But playing that hole without the stadium, totally different experience.
Wild.
I mean, it's a beautiful hole, but it's not a descriptive hole. Like you would play it and not remember it.
Right.
You
I
know?
think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And then when they build 4 levels around it,
Yeah, you're not going to forget it now.
It's just a totally different deal.
Exactly.
So I'd watched it on TV like you, but one thing, you know how I called it the student section at 16, where all the young, so you and I were looking at that.
Right.
And they've got all these chants and they don't ever stop. It's just
Right.
like an SEC student section in football.
Right.
That's really engaged in the game.
Right. I don't know how you perform your golf swing. You've got to be so mentally tough to do that and to handle that type of pressure in that and to stay inside your game and not be thinking outside of it. It would be really hard to do.
So Chad Ramey from Mississippi State played in the tournament and finished in the top 50.
Yeah.
On Saturday when we were there, he hit it close to the hole, missed the putt for birdie.
Yeah.
But I mean, a great shot off the tee.
Yeah.
And I mean, Colin Morikawa, all these guys were close. Like you said, that green is so funky. Guys were within, for them at the PGA level, birdie putts, and they couldn't get the ball in the cup.
No, most were short.
Yeah.
You know, because they were so afraid of the speed of that. Yeah, right. So that's what we saw. Most of the putts were short, but barely short. So we saw very few shots within 7 feet. I mean, we saw probably 15% of the shots were within 7 feet.
That sounds right. Something that blew me away that you and I talked about during the break was the food was so good. Like to have that kind of mass food on a course is extremely difficult.
Right.
Because, I mean, we go to SEC stadiums and a lot of times it's not good. The food and the food bars, I thought, to feed that many people was unbelievable.
It was. I don't know how they pull it off.
I don't either.
That many people with all the preparation, it's a tremendous amount of staging everything the night before. We went over to the Princess Hotel at night to
what was that
go
like?
see that. That was South Beach, Miami. I was not expecting that type of atmosphere.
How far was it from the course?
It's you can actually walk through the course to get to it. It's over on 5, right off of 5 to get to it. So it's on the front 9. It's right outside the gate of TPC.
Okay.
Amazing property. Really nice. I was tipped off that was the place to go to let the crowds kind of
Yeah, Wilkes had me stay every day till the very end because he's so into golf.
Right.
So we were there through the last group, like Friday. You were there Friday. Yeah,
Thursday and Friday.
Friday, that last group of Scheffler and Spieth, we stayed all the way till the end, watching Spieth on 17 chip it into the water to not make the cut.
Oh, really? Yeah, that was tough.
So that hotel's really cool?
Yeah, it is. It was.
It's like a nightclub and a party and good-looking people.
Unbelievable how big and how much effort. Like the one of the bars is over a swimming pool. It's just unreal. I don't even know how they pulled it off. But it was, it's just what they can do and without humidity is amazing out there. They really have a great.
That's a good point.
Great development out there. But anyway, the entire tournament. The condition of the course too was phenomenal.
Beautiful.
And I just loved the hospitality and all the service people. Like you said, the food was amazing. You just
hit on something. The bartenders and the cocktail waitresses and I don't know how they hired that many kids that were that nice.
Right. They really.
I told Matt that.
There. Right. I
mean, I know they're making a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of cash on that course, but that was to be able to identify that many people in their 20s. And work their tail off all week.
They really do, and it makes the experience even better.
Yeah.
When the service is that good, it really makes it even more special. It makes you want to go back. It reminded me of the Kentucky Derby.
Yes,
and having a golf tournament with there, just because of everybody was like women were dressed up, like people were dressed up too, you know, and then you saw costumes, and it was the pageantry of it and the spirit behind it was greater than the sporting event.
That's right.
You know,
and you have a large percentage. This is okay. You have a large percentage of people that aren't watching golf. They're just there to party.
That's right.
You know, we watched a good bit of golf, but then we also partied. We did both. We did the social, and then I mean, heck, we ended up with 15 Mississippi State people this group of guys came in, had old Waverly pullovers on. It was crazy. Eric Underwood, who played quarterback at Mississippi State in the 80s, he shows up in our suite on Friday.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's from Tennessee.
That's amazing. We were so close to each other. Didn't even know you were there. Till you got back, I saw that. We had a day overlap there. Maybe.
Yeah.
We could. But yeah, it's amazing. There's that many people. It's a lot of fun, but they manage it really well. They really do.
It's run. We did go through the merch tent. I know y'all went online. We went one morning, and Wilkes was like, "We're going to be here forever." I said, "We'll be in and out in 15 minutes," and we were.
Great, man.
I mean, they had
amazing.
it.
Yeah,
they had it going.
Well, the Masters does a good job with it too.
Oh,
but this is the Phoenix Open is next level stuff. I hope to go back.
Oh, I'm going back.
Yeah,
it was. We stayed at an Airbnb right off the course. Did y'all do hotel or Airbnb?
we did Airbnb.
Yeah.
VRBO, whatever. But it was we were 10 minutes away, and we learned the shortcut around the. First day we were rookies. We got in the bus shuttle line, and that ate up an hour. We just
that's not Bo Bounds or Terry Powell.
Yeah, they slowed down the second day, and we jumped out of the Uber to get right by the entrance.
Yeah,
going in. But it is an amazing event with amazing organization, great people, great experience. If you go, you won't have anything but a first class.
They raised $18.6 million for charities last year, and they think they're going to eclipse the 20 million mark this year once they. And you mentioned the structure; they don't get it all down until April. Yeah, and they start building. As somebody who's in building, they don't. They start building it back in September.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's interesting.
Unbelievable.
The company that puts that up also puts up the Sanderson Farm when we had it. So they would work 11 months out of the year. I think the story I heard, 10 months out of the year is dedicated toward waste management, the build and the tear down. 1 month was to Sanderson Farm, and then they took a month off. So they basically
I didn't know that
production company. But if you look at the way it's put together. It's
permanent.
a
small city.
It is absolutely. I'm amazed that it's not a permanent.
Oh, I'm sure as somebody, as a general contractor, you were like, what in the world? I mean, now it's 4 levels on 16.
Right. And so sturdy.
It looks like a Roman Colosseum, and you're right on top of the golfers.
It is.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me, brother. Appreciate it.
We're going to have to do this again soon. Terry Powell, landscape architect, if you're building an outdoor kitchen, outdoor patio, super cool pool, all that fun stuff. But he's playing tonight at Mudbugs, 6 to 9 at the Reservoir. And his new song single is out on Spotify, Hooked on Waylon. Hooked on Waylon on Spotify. Terry Powell in the house. Appreciate you, brother. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Bo. Good to see you, buddy.
We will see y'all Monday. Have a good weekend. Enjoy college baseball and crawfish and some hoops.